So you can see on my main YouTube channel, part of my life's work is to stand on the street corner and ask random people to sing a song with me. And many times, well, each time I always give them a choice to what song they want to sing. Each time, it's not my choice; it's their choice. And you find that many times people ask me to play a song for them to sing to, and I might already know the song. In many cases, I do know the song, and I can play it like with no preparation, I would say, or no preparation at the time. And sometimes no preparation at all, right? My only preparation was having heard the song before at some time in life. Now people ask, well, how did you get to know so many songs? Well, the way that I got to know so many songs is kind of a sad story, but it has a happy ending. So when I was a teenager, I think when I turned like 14, I developed a really I developed a sleep disorder, and among many other issues, there were many health issues that came up. It wasn't the only thing that came up, but the sleep disorder is the one that really didn't allow me to go to school because I couldn't sleep all night, and I'd wake up and I'd be I couldn't sleep all night. Sometimes I'd sleep like in the morning for like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that, and then I wake up so tired and just not being able to perform at school, not being able to do the schoolwork and stuff like that. Um, so I was put on homeschooling, and it was something that was provided by the state, where a teacher would come and teach me at my house. So my sleep schedule was all over the place. It was topsy turvy, and I would sleep at random times and wake up at random times. So sometimes my teacher would come to teach me at my house, and I wouldn't be awake, and they would just go home. So yeah, that happened, and it was different teachers too. So I just never knew which one I'd be taught by today because I wouldn't know what time I would actually wake up. But this time spent at home was I would say the time I spent at home was very instrumental, so to speak, in me learning a lot about music because one thing that I use to soothe myself let me tell you something. When you're home, it's isolation. I know there's other people who live there, but it's isolation. At 14 years old, 15 years old, you want to be with friends, you want to be outside, you want to be maybe doing sports, especially if you're an active kind of person like me. Um, yeah, it was very lonely. So I would use music to soothe myself. I listened to the radio for hours and hours and hours and hours. And yeah, I listened to every station basically. When I got tired of one station, I heard their whole rotation. I switched to another station, and then switched to another station, and switched to another station. So that's how. So yeah, before you know it, I was pretty much familiar with pretty much all the popular music that will be played on American stations, like pretty much all of it. So thankfully, I started learning how to play guitar right before. Well, I started learning how to play guitar in school right before I was sent to be home instructed. So I spent like what 3 or 4 months in regular school before I was recommended home instruction. So um, so yeah, by that time I'd already learned how to play some chords. So I would just play. I would sit by the radio and just try to figure out as many songs as I could. I didn't have the skill to play most of the songs, but just the interest of music and listening to it all the time at least made the songs familiar to me. So that by the time I started to become more skilled, which is towards late high school, and then I started performing and doing open mics and stuff like that. I didn't really start like performing professionally until 2020 no, not 2020, 2014, I would say. So that's like 13 years playing guitar, and finally someone's actually paying me to do it. So um yeah, but by that time I'd heard so much music that whenever someone asked me to sing or play a song, I it wouldn't take me more than a day to figure out how to play it. Um, so yeah. Now, fast forward many years later, right now, it doesn't even take me a day. If I've heard the song before, I just have to look up the chords online and then I can play it. Simple as that. So, of course, there are some times where the song is a little bit more um, challenging. Maybe I might have to practice it to get any good at it, but in most cases, most music follows the same, well, very, very predictable patterns. So now I feel like my story has created a person who is perfect for this type of service that I'm doing called Sing With Me, where I ask random people to sing a song with me. And yeah, so that's the happy ending. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next video. Stay tuned for the next video. So I would say this, speaking on camera, I'm going to learn how to speak more proficiently and more clearly, and of course, more slowly. So, um, yeah. So thank you for being a part of my speaking journey.